Hello, everyone. This is Eric Keefe, editor-in-chief of the Quintessential Gentleman, and today we are talking to influencer and celebrity trainer, Mr. John Gaines. What's going on, my brother?
Yes, yes. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. How you feeling?
I feel amazing. Yeah, definitely.
Good, good. You on the West Coast, right?
Correct. Yes,
So
yes.
I getting this rain and this little chill we got over here. I'm in New York.
Man, it's been wild in here. You'd be surprised. We got rain the other day and then 90 the next, 70 the next. It's been crazy over here.
Yeah,
For us. Not as extreme as y'all.
of course, and that's why I'm leaving. I'm actually moving to LA next month, so I'm
Okay.
figuring out what's going on that side. So.
Yeah, it might be a little warm by the time you get here too. So you'll be good.
Awesome, awesome. So, I want to everybody know had this conversation, been following this man for a long time, and just inspired by first the fitness goals. After this call, probably going to try to find a gym because I feel like I'm not caught up enough. And then also him and his daughter. Just love seeing that type of stuff. But I wanted to just start with the fitness side. Just how did you get into having so much discipline in this space? I know you had a started a football career, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was a multi-sport athlete growing up.
Hmm.
And I feel like those habits were developed there. I would say I really fell in love with the working out portion after high school. I was undersized. I had got a football scholarship, and my dad was like, "Hey, you got to get in the gym now. It's grown men. You can't just go off of talent, but these gonna be some big boys. So you gotta, yeah, you gotta get in the gym." And I think in that process, I just developed the habit of doing the extra work, and then I fell in love with just working out in general.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. And one of your fitness philosophies is the gains mentality.
Mhm.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, gangs mentality really is about just striving for progress in everything that you do. It's bigger than just the gym, but I even preach to my clients like we're looking to translate the things from the gym to your workplace or your family or your real life. And this is how, the same way that I did sports. And I've translated a lot of those things to find success in the quote unquote real world after. But yeah, it was gangs mentality was developed out of necessity. It was a point to where I had just moved to LA. I was kind of in limbo if I was going to keep pursuing football. Didn't really have a plan in LA. I was on my sister's couch. I think I was busting tables at the time, still staying in shape. If I was gonna, the LA grind. If I was gonna keep playing football, and within that time, it was just doing the work to make progress in all aspects, and that's where gangs mentality came from.
Awesome, awesome. So, we talk about fitness and it's always like the physical aspect of it, but also
Mm-hmm.
there's a mental piece to it too. And then,
100%.
we're also May Mental Health Awareness Month. I want to know kind of what's your thoughts on kind of making sure you offset the physical side and also incorporating the mental as well.
It's extremely important because you can look, you know, quote unquote perfect, or you can be ripped, you can have the six pack and all that and still be unhappy. So I think creating a positive relationship with the gym and food is very important. And it's going to show from the inside, most importantly, not just from a health perspective, but just your energy, your spirit, and how you're able to handle the other 23 hours out of the day outside of the gym. Instead of being escaping from your real life, you can be happy in both. That's the goal. So, yeah, mental and physical, they go hand in hand 100%.
So you said other 23 hours. I just want to get confirmation. So 1 hour is sufficient a day, right?
Yeah, it is for sure. You can get busy in 30 minutes right there where you at. Like,
I know a lot
yeah.
of people, they're like, yeah, I'm in the gym twice a day. And I'm like, oh, okay. I just don't have that
I see
time.
it a lot, man. I see some people in there three hours, and I'm like, hey, more power to you. But I'm in and out the hour for myself. That's how I train my clients within an hour. It's about being efficient and having a plan, most importantly, so you can maximize the time that you're there. But I get it. Some people that is their social hour, or this is the place where their friends are. They just like to be. So that's understandable as well. But as far as making progress, yeah, you can definitely be fine with an hour. More than enough time.
Perfect. As long as you know, intentional and not on
Exactly.
your phone and playing around and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, if you're in there 3 hours, an hour of it was probably scrolling and talking and starting conversations and a lot of rest.
Yep. So talk to me. I want to know what are, if you could just give like two of the main issues that your clients kind of deal with from a fitness perspective when they're not
Hmm.
reaching goals. What are like two of the biggest issues that they have?
Um, Two of the biggest issues I would say, food for sure.
Mm.
Just most people know what to eat. I like to be very, very honest, and open and simplify things as much as possible. If you have to ask if you should be eating it, you probably shouldn't. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. Now, obviously, we can get a lot more detailed on the specifics, but if you have to ask yourself the question, you probably shouldn't do it. So I would say nutrition for sure, and then accountability. You're looking to lean on somebody to be able to encourage and motivate and inspire you. Kind of, yeah, you just know I'm going to be there for you for that energy push and to have the plan ready for you, take the thinking out of it. So I think there's a big aspect of accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just inspiration and motivation.
Yeah. I think also another thing is the balance of life, right? I
Yeah.
think life is a big piece. And, you have a daughter. How are you able to balance, working and, working, fitness, and then also being there and being present for your daughter?
Yeah, for sure. For me, fortunately, I do create my own schedule. And so I just prioritize myself on being as present as possible. For example, I take my daughter to school just about every morning, and most mornings most afternoons pick her up as well. It definitely has put a lot more stress on me business wise, but I think it's worth it, to have to get creative and whether it's staying up later or doing things earlier to be able to enjoy those moments with her. That's very important for me to just set her day. We do our affirmations in the morning. I just want to make sure she's smiling and happy. If you've seen the videos, we race just about every morning in school, which is actually translated because she got some wheels on her. So I'm
Okay.
excited.
Okay. Do you see yourself being a track dad for sure?
Oh, for sure. My dad was a track dad. One
Okay.
of my sisters was a college track athlete. He was a runner. Um, And yeah, I do. And now that she's getting more athletic, I'm like, okay, I got to tighten up and get back on. So, she's playing soccer now as well. So it's kind of relighting that athletic fire in me too. So I'm excited for that stage.
That's awesome. What's the toughest part about being a girl dad?
Um, Man, I would say just the fact that I'm not a girl. There's a certain level of just relatability and just wiring in general that's different. So it's a constant challenge. Obviously she's very young, so this is kind of foundational level anyway. But yeah, I know there's a lot of challenges and there will be more. Um, just the fact that I am a man trying to understand.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
And what, like, as you're, she's still very young, but it just seems like, like again, I've watched you guys videos, and then so many others have, and it just seems like you're just very intentional on making sure that she has just the space to be herself, which I feel like as
Mhm.
a black man of a particular age, we didn't necessarily always. I won't even necessarily say get that, but we also
Yeah.
see that, right? How
Mhm.
what was your like intent on making sure you kind of create that space for her?
I feel like understanding that we didn't see it made it even more important for me to prioritize that. Um, you know, Early on, my whole thing was presence over presence. I don't want to just give you things and not be there. So I think the best thing that we can do is, you know, she's gonna remember a lot more that she sees me do than what I tell her. You know, especially early on, and she picks up so much. She's always paying attention. So I've noticed just in her mannerisms and things that she says and does, it's like, oh, you were watching. You may not remember that I told you to, pick up your toys over there, but yeah, I notice a lot of little things. So it keeps me in check and keeps me on my toes.
What's your thoughts on kind of her growing up in this technological space where you have the TV, the iPad, the cell phone,
Yeah,
all this?
yeah.
How do you navigate that? Listen, I don't have no kids, so I'm asking you because I'm like, I don't know how y'all do it.
No, it's such a scary space because at the end of the day, of course, this is my first child. It's my daughter, super protective. So I want to keep her as safe as I can. And so now, not only do I got to think about the world around, but the world in her hand.
Yeah,
Just what she's exposed to. She already picks up on so many things that we're like, wait, where did you get that? Like, how do you even know that? So it's just you got to be hyper aware, like really pay attention, and you don't want to limit to where she's behind because realistically that's just the age.
yeah,
But I also really want to make sure she's not so dependent on it that she can't experience real life. So we get outside, we play, I mean, we was outside. You know what I'm saying? Like outside was a real thing all
yep,
day, sun up to sundown.
yep,
So yeah, I think just incorporating an aspect of that, but not being, or being realistic and understanding. They're probably gonna have laptops in third grade. You know what I mean? Like it's just the way of the world. So it's trying to monitor and protect as much as I can within the space.
yeah. What do you think are some of, I'll say, what are some of like the differences between how she's growing up versus how you grew up?
Um, wow. I feel like there's a lot of differences. I think she just has a lot more freedom to explore and understand. I think there's a big push on, I guess, gentle parenting is the big thing right now. Um, yeah, it wasn't none of that. You get popped in the mouth back in the day. It's like
Right.
there was a child's place and you stayed there. And so yeah, I think there's just a lot more understanding and giving children more of a voice. But then within that, I love that I have that level of discipline and authority that we had to follow. So incorporating that as well. So trying to find a good balance between the two.
Yeah. Awesome. And then just a little bit about your relationship with your father. Like, how was
Mhm.
it, kind of growing up with him and how you were able to kind of how he was in your life and then kind of how it translated to you being a father now.
Yeah, my dad, I call him the ultimate girl dad. My dad has six girls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I low key was hot at him though because I thought for sure I was gonna have a boy first, and I'm like, man, you did this, all these
Wait,
girls.
are you the oldest?
No, I'm actually the youngest.
Oh, you're the youngest.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm the youngest. Yeah. So, but yeah, just the values, man, and again, watching him navigate being a girl dad, I think definitely prepared me, to be that. And fortunately, my older sisters, I have nieces and nephews and stuff, so I got a little bit of practice babysitting and stuff. Um, but I think nothing prepares you, honestly. Nothing really prepares you for yours because every child is different, every situation is different, you're different. So, being present and just willing to learn is going to be the biggest thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. And what advice do you give for first time fathers? If you could give them, I would say give them three pieces of advice for first time fathers. What would that be? Things that you wish you knew.
Honestly, I get these questions all the time, which has also encouraged me to share more.
Okay.
I get, dudes hit me in the DM like, bro, like you make it cool to be a dad, or like I got a kid on the way. Like yo, you're inspiring me, and I think that's super dope. Um, and typically, what I say, man, is just be patient with yourself. You don't have to have it all figured out. You won't, because when they send you home from that hospital, it's gonna be a shock. I still can't believe they just send us home. Like it really ain't no manual. Like no, nothing. It's just like, all right, y'all, you good? Go ahead.
God bless.
Yeah. So I think definitely be patient with yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself for sure. Um, I think just like anything else as a man, like giving your best effort is enough. So if you're doing that, again, don't be too hard on yourself and just be present. Be present. It's so easy to want to just go get the bag and handle the financial responsibility and get back to work and all those things. Obviously, those are necessary to provide the lifestyle, but just don't forget to be present, because they grow up so fast, literally.
And what has your daughter taught you about yourself?
Mm. She's starting to become my little accountability partner.
Mm,
And like I said earlier, she's paying attention to what I'm doing, not always remembering what I'm saying. Um, and she does both. She's extremely smart. She's extremely smart. So
we
I,
see.
I recently there was a video I had posted where she was checking me on eating some chips before dinner.
Mm,
And obviously for me, I'm just like, all right, I had a little craving. I wanted to have some chips. And she's like, no, you don't do that. Like, you know better. Literally, she's telling me this. And I'm just laughing. I had to turn the camera on because I was like, there's no way she's getting at me like this.
yep, yep.
But yeah, so it's just accountability. She keeps me on my toes. She's always changing and learning new things. So yeah, I think it just forces me to do the same. Like I got to be ready for the question she's gonna come ask me today, which could be anything under the sun. Um, so yeah, a big thing she's doing for me right now as well, is uh challenging me to strengthen my faith with
Mm,
God. And
mm,
it's really crazy that it's coming from her.
yeah,
But I prayed more with her than I have in my adult life.
yeah,
So I think it's really amazing that trying to have that you know that faith aspect and foundation on her, but also reigniting it with me as well.
that's awesome. And what do you think about the depiction of Black fathers now, right? I think there was a period of time, I mean, we know how it is in narrative
Yeah,
and not, being visible and in their kids' life, but now we see examples of you. I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think media has it right now? Are we good in a good space for the representation of Black fathers?
I think there's still like that overarching theme or stigma for us, but I think there are plenty of examples of us showing up. Excuse me. I think there's more and more examples. And again, like I said, with guys hitting me up and letting me know that they're inspired and encouraged by it, like, being a father is being cool, and we're normalizing that and not allowing the narrative to be created without us, showing the other side. If all you see is news articles and negative things, there's real dads out here doing real things that never before you just wouldn't see it, so it's definitely a movement, and I love it. I'm proud of it. I want to stay involved as possible and help push it as much as possible. I'm fortunate to be surrounded by a lot of good Black fathers as well. I mean, we encourage each other, to do the same. So yeah, it's continue to change the narrative.
Yeah,
Black fathers matter.
yeah, Black fathers matter. And
Absolutely.
if you could do your top, I would say top three favorite Black fathers from TV, who would you put on your list?
Oh, that's tough. Black fathers from TV. Okay, Uncle Phil got to be in there.
Three.
Uncle Phil got to be in there. Um, Okay, where we going from there? Black fathers. Uh, all the shows I'm thinking of, I can't. Some of my favorite shows, but they
You
wasn't
got
necessarily the
you got
fathers.
Family Matters, Me
Yeah,
and Carl. Uh,
Carl, yeah, Carl got to be in there too. Carl Winslow for sure, for sure. Uncle
okay,
Phil,
bro.
Carl, um, Bill Cosby was a great father for
Great,
sure.
great.
A great father. So those three, I think, off the top, that I could think. Oh, the dad from Sister,
Yes, Ray.
Ray, Ray. I like Ray too. I like Ray too. Yeah,
Okay,
those are a
perfect.
couple that came to mind right off the bat.
Awesome, awesome. And my
You
last
gonna have me thinking about that now. I might
I
have to
listen, I will find
ask that
out now.
question
Now
on
I'm like, oh,
TikTok or
I gotta
something.
put it. I just thought I was like, I wonder what you would think too. So, perfect, perfect. My last question for you is, what can we look forward to you from you, man? What can we look forward to from John Gaines? What you got coming up?
Yeah, just continuing to spread that games mentality. Releasing programs. My online coaching is growing as well. Um, creating a safe space for fathers to be fathers. And again, continuing to represent that. Um, yeah, you're gonna see me around. I'm doing a lot more things. I have some working on some products to release as well in the fitness space. Just continuing to grow, continuing to grow.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And shout out to you, Black man, being a great dad. We love to see it. And thank you for taking the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you.